Hi everyone, this is daveac.blip.tv and this is my vblog 125 for Friday the 10th of December 2010. And as Mr. Louis Trapani has been saying, heck, this year's gone fast, although he says it with an American accent. But indeed, here we are nearly into the middle of December, just about 2 weeks till Christmas. I don't know where it's gone, but still, we've enjoyed it. So let's get on with irony. That's the long and short of it. And the hot and cold of it too. Well, let me explain what that means. By the way, yes, there will be a wine at the end, and we will be doing it in around about 15 minutes. Now, there's two things from last week. I say round about 15 minutes because last episode, 124, I had to completely redo it because on the first take, I did my vblog and it ran 15 minutes and 3 seconds. And I was worried that this video that I do, which goes up, of course, onto daveac.blip.tv, but it's also then ported to YouTube, my DAC 100 YouTube page. And there has been this limit of 15 minutes in place. Although I'm told by Tim Jory after the event that when he was watching it afterwards, that I could have probably got away with going a little over 15 minutes. But I had heard problems that people had had with that. So I basically redid the show and finished about 2 seconds before the 15 minutes. I now found out, and this is the irony of it, that YouTube have now changed the rules and you can upload a video longer than 15 minutes providing that you keep within the rules of YouTube itself. So if I do go over 15 minutes today, then it should still be fine. I used to do these video blogs that would be 18 minutes, 22 minutes, 25 minutes, even as long as 28 minutes in the past. But once I found that there was this interconnection between Blip TV and YouTube that they would do the uploading for me, and that YouTube had gone to 15 minutes for a considerable number of episodes. I've been sticking to this 15-minute limit. And just to say that I don't want to waste people's time, when the content is not, I have only got a limited amount of content, I will stick to the 15 minutes. But the point is I now have that flexibility. And the double irony is, of course, this week I can go over 15 minutes, but I actually haven't got a book and I haven't got a DVD today. I have got some classical music and, of course, the wine at the end. Now, the joy for me is that I've done these vlogs when I've got to like 13 minutes before I get to the wine. And I'm sort of basically in a sniff, slurp, and yes, that's good, and off we go. So hopefully I can spend a little bit more time on the wine. And for instance, let's show you the bottle now. If it just, of course, it'll focus now for me, but if it sometimes takes a while to focus on the bottle, we'll talk about what it is in a little bit later on. I'm usually panicking, hurrying it up because the seconds are ticking away. Okay, well, that's 3.5 minutes of rubbish, David. Get on with the show. Okay, let's start with the usual podcasting and Doctor Who info. Well, Mr. Louis Trapani of Doctor Who Podshock does it with Ken and James, of course, normally. He's put up episode 230. That is available on the Gallifreyan Embassy site at podshock.net. Or, of course, it's available on iTunes and so on. And that has part 2 of Ian, Sixth Doctor, my co-host on the Culton Collective, the second part of his interview with Paul Scoones, who does the info text on a couple of the Doctor Who DVDs. So he's sort of an insider onto the workings of getting these DVDs out. And they also, at the end of it, they actually hint that there's a third part to come, maybe talking about other things and differently. Also on this great Podshock episode, although James and Ken aren't on it, there is guests of the Happiness Patrol. They've got Lewis Bailey, Dale Who, Tara Wheeler, and Leela Sandstrom on talking with Lewis. And it really is good because they're talking about the TARDIS prop in its different incarnations and hints and tips. Really enjoyed it, guys. Good show. So that, of course, is a great one to listen to. And there's some more information from Lewis. Let me just, two things I want to mention. One, that if you're a supporting subscriber and you have one of the mobile Apple OS devices, that's the iPhone, the iPad, or the iPod Touch, the app that they have for you catching episodes of Podshock was only being up to now in America, and that is going international. And I'm looking at the page now because I want to read it properly. I don't want to get myself into trouble with Lewis. So as of today, the codes can now be redeemed through any app store around the world. This is great news for our supporters outside the US. Quantities are limited, and therefore we are limited to what are available to us at any given time. If you are interested in getting the app for free and you are a supporting subscriber, let Lewis know. Okay, and there's another piece of Doctor Who news I'll read while I've got this page up in front of me. Lewis has also reported, and I think it's also news that is on the Doctor Who news page, that they've already announced the Blu-ray and DVD release of this upcoming Christmas special, A Christmas Carol, which is brilliant, of course. Anyway, it's going to be released on Blu-ray and DVD on the 15th of February. As Lewis says, just unfortunately one day after Valentine's Day, but indeed in time for Gallifrey 22. So that is pretty good news indeed. And in actual fact, before I go on to our Cult and Collective podcast news, let me read some other piece of news. There's a marvellous site to go to and check news for Doctor Who, and it's the Gallifrey news base. And let me give you the URL. It's Gallifrey newsbase, or one word, .blogspot, one word, .com. And the piece there, there's lots of things there. I mean, you don't need me to read it. You can go and check it out yourself. But the one thing that was really interesting to me that they posted on Wednesday, the 8th of December, is that a program I watch called The Eggheads, which is a quiz show here in the UK, where each week a team goes up against these quizmasters, and each week there's £1,000 to be won. If it's not won that week, it rolls over. So some people have won as much as £20,000 if the preceding teams have failed. Well, they're doing, I assume they're doing more than one special Eggheads, but the one I'm interested in, is a Doctor Who celebrity edition of the BBC Two show Eggheads. And this will be on Monday, the 20th of December at 6 p.m. here in the UK. The show will star the Sixth Doctor Colin Baker, along with Katie Manning, Fraser Hines, Louise Jameson, and John Leeson. I think I need to tell you which parts those people play, and they will be playing for charity against the Eggheads. Really good, that. I really like that. So let me go on to the other podcasting news. That's the Cult and Collective podcast. We go out on TalkShoe ID 54821 every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, last Sunday, that was the 5th of December, we did episode 75, Sci-Fi and Fantasy Role Models. We went about 2 hours, 10 minutes. About the first 30 minutes is news and discussion, and then we get on to the main topic. Hope you'll give that a listen. But also, midweek, the third of our little Christmas treats has gone out. That's our Cultdom commentary on Time Crash. Yes, that little extra special Time Crash with the 5th Doctor and the 10th Doctor in the TARDIS console room. Only lasted about 8 minutes, and our little commentary on that with some comments afterwards is about 18, 19 minutes long. Hope you'll catch that either from our blog, cultdom.com, or from our fan page on Facebook, the Cult and Collective fan page, or indeed subscribe to us on iTunes. Okay, so that's basically the Doctor Who news. Now, I haven't got a book and I haven't got a DVD, but I have got some classical music, so let's go to that. And here's the DVD. It's one I've had for some time now. It's a mid-price Decca, and this is what the UK cover looks like, so it might just look a little bit different in other countries. And it's got Frank, Debussy and Ravel sonatas for violin and piano, and including harp, flute and clarinet on the third one. And I'm not going to even try and pronounce those. It's Kei Wang Chung and Raida Lupu on the piano, and it's the Melos Ensemble. And let's hear track one, the Frank Sonata for violin and piano. It's got a quiet opening, so I hope it'll sound fine. Sorry, it's very low. Boom. I'm relaxing now. Oh, I'm drifting off. Let me stop it. Beautiful. Lovely, lovely music. So let's get on. 11.5 minutes, but I'm not panicking. But I was panicking this week. You also may have noticed when I did last week's show, I had about 2 jumpers on. I was freezing cold and I had trouble with my boiler, and it broke down in the middle of the week after that day. Obviously, I haven't been pumping around properly. It's at the moment working, but the engineer's got to come back to replace one of the important parts that he said he's knackered, and, you know, I'm safe to have it on low, but it's got to be repaired. So that was the hot and cold of it. So I'm down to just 1 jumper over my shirt today. Okay, well, 12 minutes in, and I don't have to rush my wine. But of course, as I say, normally I would be doing a DVD now, but it so happens I'm still finishing off that, the last DVD of the Highlander set, and also I showed you a clip from the extras on the Smallville Series 8. Haven't got to that yet because I'm re-watching the earlier series. Hopefully we'll have a DVD for next week. But that now gives me as much time as we like on the wine. But I will do it in about 3 or 4 minutes. So here's the wine. Altos de Tamaron. Crianza, remember that means at least 6 months in oak barrels, and then usually at least another 12 months in bottles. But this is 2006, so it's probably spent a couple of years in bottles before it was released. Oh, we've got an award there. IWSC Gold Award 2010, Best in Class. And it's from Spain, of course, and it's 13.5%. And we're having a bit of trouble focusing. Am I panicking? No, I am not. Spanish and English there. Ripe cherry, red colour with intense fruit notes. Suggestions of an elegant chocolate and cocoa aromas emanating from the long barrel aging process at 13.5%. Well, it's been smelling nicely. There's been a lovely waft. It's well and truly warmed up now. It's got a lovely colour. It's a lovely rubyish red colour. And I'm getting a little bit of fruit, but it's mostly been that sort of foresty floor earthiness that I've been getting while I've been talking. There's a dry edge to it there, but that's the balance of the fruit and the tannins. And it's quite a long finish. And I'm getting some sort of chocolate, was it? They say chocolate and coffee. I'm certainly getting a slight chocolate edge to it. Little bit of vanilla. Let's have another taste. You have that slight need to want to pucker your mouth up a little bit because it might be a little bit dry for some taste, but the oak barrel in it is not that overpowering at all. It's a nice wine. Let's have a little look at the bottle. Altos de Tamaron, Crianza. Still not focusing very clearly, is it? Okay, I'm going to leave that. See, we've gone 15 minutes and 12 seconds and I'm not panicking. But I will bring it to end. There's no point in running long when I've finished with the content. That's a lovely wine. £8 normally. I picked it up at Asda. That's Walmart, people in the States, for £6. So that's, what, €7, $10. And at that price, very nice drink indeed. Well, with that, that's daveac finishing my vblog for 125. Oh, there's one other thing I should mention, and I can mention because of the time, that if you do use Twitter, and you now have the new Twitter look with the twin panels, blip.tv and Twitter have now got an agreement. There are other places like Flickr and Ustream and YouTube, I think. But if somebody like myself sends out a tweet with a link to a blip.tv episode, you can actually play it in Twitter. In fact, I'll move the camera. It'll be very daring right at the end of the show. Let me bring it up. So, in actual fact, this is my Cultdom Twitter that I share with Ian. But it's this section with my tweets on. And if you can see the greyed out one there, that's the one that's highlighted. And there's a little white rectangle there. And that shows that there's media link here. You click on it and the media opens up in the second panel and you can watch the episode right there on Twitter. This, by the way, is my TwitPic page. So that's what we're looking at. It won't actually play at the moment because that's a still picture of it. But really, really good. It means you can watch the videos and other things actually in the thing. So at 17 minutes and 20 seconds, that's all for now. Catch you next week. Bye all.